As a seasoned creator with years of storytelling experience, I've crafted this video to guide you through a profound lesson on Stoic wisdom. Many believe self-respect means confronting toxic individuals head-on, matching their intensity and proving you won't be walked over by fighting fire with fire. So they shout when shouted at, scheme when schemed against, and stoop to win. And yes, they might triumph in the moment, but in doing so they sacrifice something far greater, their own essence. The Stoics grasped a truth that eludes most. The instant you let toxic people shape your actions, you've already surrendered your self-respect. True self-respect isn't about proving your value to those blind to it, it's about preserving your integrity when others discard theirs. Marcus Aurelius once penned, "The best revenge is to not be like that. Not louder, not harsher, not stooping to their level to make a point, just choosing to remain above their chaos." In this video, I'll guide you through 6 Stoic principles to uphold your self-respect amidst toxic people, not by overpowering them but by mastering your own spirit. Principle 3 is the toughest challenge, demanding you defy every natural urge when attacked, yet it's the key to safeguarding your dignity. By the end, you'll discover how to stay steady, honorable, and unshaken, even when surrounded by those intent on breaking you. If you're weary of toxic individuals robbing your peace and eager to reclaim your self-respect, let's dive in. The first principle is to distinguish their actions from your value. When a toxic person lashes out with criticism, insults, or belittlement, your initial impulse is to take it to heart, question your worth, or rush to defend yourself against their judgment. But here's the insight you need. Toxic behavior reflects the attacker's character, not your merit. Their venom stems from their own wounds, not your shortcomings. The moment you try to justify your value to someone whose perspective is clouded by their own pain, you've given them authority they don't merit. I witnessed this dynamic at a firm I advised. 2 employees answered to the same toxic supervisor, a man who nitpicked endlessly, finding flaws in every effort, leaving people feeling inadequate regardless of their success. The first, Emma, internalized every critique. She worked overtime, reworked projects obsessively, and nervously sought approval, losing sleep and confidence, eventually doubting her abilities. The second, Michael, took a different path. After a harsh review, he paused, assessed what was valid, kept the useful, and let go of the rest. When I asked how he stayed unaffected, he said, "He tears everyone down. It's not about my work, it's about his brokenness needing to crush others to feel strong. I won't let his issues define me." Michael grasped what Emma missed. Chronic toxicity, constant criticism, negativity, or cruelty mirrors the attacker's inner state, not your worth. Hurt people hurt others, insecure people belittle to feel big, unhappy people spread misery to avoid solitude. When you truly see their behavior as a symptom of their struggles, not a judgment on you, you stop taking it personally, not out of arrogance, but from clarity. Marcus Aurelius advised, when someone harms you, ask what good or harm they thought to gain. Understanding this brings sympathy, not anger. This isn't about tolerating abuse, it's about recognizing their pain protects you from absorbing their poison. Practice this. Next time a toxic person criticizes, pause, ask, is this about me or them? Notice their pattern. Do they target everyone? Is their negativity constant? Are they projecting their failures? Often, yes. Their attack is their pain seeking release, and you're just in the vicinity. Take any valid feedback but leave the venom, the personal jabs, the character attacks as theirs to carry. Self-respect means knowing your value stands apart from broken opinions, hearing criticism without letting it define you because you remember what they forgot. How they treat you reveals them, not you. When you embrace this, they lose the power to hurt you, yet understanding their projection isn't enough. The second principle focuses on where you direct your energy when their behavior is beyond your reach. Principle 2, control only what you can. When toxic people enter your life, your instinct is to change them, to make them see reason, explain yourself better, or prove your point to stop their behavior. You might spend hours crafting the perfect reply, rehearsing talks, plotting ways to alter them. But all that effort, all that mental and emotional strain yields nothing. The truth is, you can't control them, only yourself. Every moment spent trying to fix what you can't is a moment they control you. My friend Rachel spent 5 years attempting to mend her bond with her toxic father. Every visit ended in criticism, her job, her lifestyle, her choices, nothing sufficed. She explained, brought proof of her achievements, asked what would please him, but the criticism persisted, finding new angles. I watched her wear herself out until she declared, "I can't make him see me differently. I've been trying to control his view, which isn't mine to shape. I can only control my reaction, and I'm choosing to stop defending myself to someone set against understanding." That shift from fixing him to managing her response saved her peace. She stopped justifying, stopped defending, stopped seeking approval that wouldn't come. When criticized, she'd say calmly, "I've noted your view. I'm fine with my choice," then shift topics or end the call. Her father didn't change, but Rachel's relationship with his toxicity did. Epictetus taught 2,000 years ago, some things are in our power, others are not. In our power, opinion, pursuit, desire, not in our power, body, property, reputation. Their behavior, words, judgments, toxicity beyond your control. Your response entirely yours. Practice this. When provoked, pause and ask, what's in my control here? Never their actions, always your reaction, your boundaries, your energy. Shifting focus from changing them to governing yourself is transformative. They can still be toxic, but they can't steal your calm because you've stopped chasing the uncontrollable. Self-respect is self-mastery. Trying to control them lets them rule you through frustration or obsession. Mastering yourself liberates you, not because they've changed, but because you have. If you've exhausted yourself trying to fix a toxic person and are ready to focus on your response, comment "I choose me" below. It's the hardest pivot, but it restores your power. Understanding control is vital, but principle 3 is the toughest test. It's about your actions when attacked, when every instinct urges you to strike back. Principle 3, don't reflect their toxicity. When someone assaults you with cruelty, your body screams to retaliate, insult back. Outmaneuver, ruin their name, and you might succeed hurting them, making them regret it. But fighting poison with poison turns you into what you oppose, and that's the real loss yourself. I saw this with a coworker, Tom. He worked with a toxic peer who stole credit, sabotaged efforts, and spread rumors to climb. For months, Tom took the high road, then snapped. He gathered leverage, undermined in meetings, spread counter-rumors, and won. The peer was ousted. But afterward, Tom confided, "I got him out, but I can't face myself. I became what I despised." That's mirroring's price. You might win, but you trade your character. Their actions fade, your integrity endures. Abandoning it to beat them gives them the true victory. They shaped you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to not be like that. Not louder, not meaner, not outsmarting their tactics, just refusing to sink." This is hard because it feels like defeat. When they stoop and you rise, it seems weak, like letting them off or fearing conflict. But the Stoics knew sinking to their level isn't strength, it's yielding. True strength is kindness amid cruelty, honesty over lies, staying you when winning demands otherwise. Practice this when attacked, feel the urge to retaliate, acknowledge it, then ask, will I respect myself tomorrow if I do this? Not will I win, or will they learn, just will I still like who I am? If no, the cost is too steep. You don't conquer toxic people by becoming them, you win by denying them the power to alter you. Self-respect is being someone you admire. If victory requires cruelty or manipulation, it's no victory, it proves they could change you. Don't grant them that. The first 3 principles are internal: mindset, control, character. The next 3 are practical actions to shield your peace when avoiding toxic people isn't an option. Principle 4, respond, don't react. Reaction is instant, emotional, automatic, provoked, and words fly before thought. Response is deliberate, mindful, chosen. You feel the jab, pause, then decide. Toxic people crave your reaction, proof they've rattled you, that they rule your emotions. But a calm, intentional response reclaims your power over yourself. I saw this at a family reunion. My cousin made a snide remark to humiliate my brother about his job, cloaked as concern but dripping with malice. The old him would have erupted, defended, made a scene. This time he paused, 3 seconds of breath, then said quietly, "I'm proud of my path, I hope you can accept that," and moved on. No fight, no justification. My cousin pushed, but my brother smiled and shifted focus. Later he told me, "I felt the anger, but exploding would have given him control. Choosing my response felt stronger." That's the key. You can't stop feelings: anger, hurt, defensiveness, but what you do with them is your power. Between provocation and words lies a gap, 3 seconds. In that space, choose: react from emotion or respond from values. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Their words are beyond you, that gap is yours. Practice this when provoked, pause 3 seconds minimum. Breathe, note the reaction, then ask, what reflects my best self? Not the version they provoke, but your true self. Speak from there or stay silent. Both are responses, neither reactions. Reactions fuel their power, responses affirm yours. Self-respect grows not from winning debates, but from choosing your conduct amid emotional storms. You've learned to avoid mirroring and to respond deliberately. Principle 5 draws a line they can't cross without apology. Principle 5, set boundaries without justification. A boundary isn't a debate, it's a declaration, yet many treat it like a plea needing approval, over-explaining. "I can't because I'm busy," or apologizing, "Sorry, but I can't." Every reason, every sorry becomes ammo for toxic people to argue or manipulate past it. Explaining why invites them to challenge your logic, and to them it's never enough. I watched my brother struggle with this for years. His friend constantly demanded favors, guilting him about every refusal. He'd say, "I'm tired this week," or "I have plans," and each excuse was countered: "Rest later, cancel them." The boundary never held because he framed it as negotiable. Then after a harsh guilt trip he said, "That doesn't work for me." Pushed for why, he repeated, "It doesn't work for me," and closed the topic. No defense, no apology. His friend fumed, but the line stood because there was no debate. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than reality." People fear firm boundaries will ruin relationships, but resentment from not protecting yourself does that. Practice this: state boundaries clearly. "I'm not available. I won't discuss that." When asked why, say, "It's my choice," or "Nothing." If pushed, restate or exit. It needn't make sense to them, just be clear and firm. Self-respect means valuing your peace enough to guard it, even if it discomforts others, especially toxic ones. Without their approval, it's not a boundary, it's a suggestion they'll ignore. You've mastered response and boundary. Principle 6 leverages silence when baited into pointless fights. Principle 6, use silence as your shield. Not every insult needs a reply, not every jab deserves energy, not every toxic remark requires address. Many think silence equals agreement or weakness, that they've won. But silence isn't defeat, it's dismissal, saying, "You're not worth my words." Responding to every dig, passive-aggressive comment, or provocation gives them what they seek: control over your attention. Silence ends their game. My colleague Anna worked with someone who made sly remarks about her style, work choices, subtle enough to deny, sharp enough to hurt. For months she defended, corrected, proved fairness, feeding the cycle. Then after a jab she paused, said nothing, and worked on. Pushed again, silence. A third time, no reaction. Within weeks the comments ceased, they'd lost effect. Silence communicates they're unworthy of engagement. Every reply, even defense, validates their words matter. Silence says, I don't need to justify myself to you, you're beneath notice. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you always own the option of having no opinion, no need to trouble your soul over what you can't control. Their provocations aren't yours to manage, your response or silence is. Practice this when baited, pause and ask, does this deserve my words? Not can I win, or should I let it slide? Just, is it worth my energy? Usually no, let it fade in silence. Don't defend, don't engage, deny them reaction. Silence isn't passivity, it's rejecting their game. Self-respect knows which fights matter and which drain you. Toxic people feed on response, starve them, and they're powerless. These 6 principles aren't about crushing toxic people, they're about staying you amid their chaos. That's self-respect, not proving to them but protecting your soul. Separate their actions from your worth, their cruelty is theirs. Control only your response, not them. Don't mirror their poison, refuse to sink. Respond, don't react, own the gap. Set boundaries without apology, guard your peace. Use silence as a shield, deny their bait. Marcus Aurelius faced daily betrayal and wrote, the best revenge is to not be like that. Self-respect isn't defeating toxic people, it's not letting them reshape you. If this resonated, subscribe to Stoic Wisdom, share with someone battling toxicity, and like it for others to find. You can't control them, but you can control staying you. That's Stoic strength, that's freedom.